show you how to use the new fast Terraform resources. And in the use case, we will try to do a Canary testing. So I'm connected to a big IP. We have some virtual server, but it's not the one that we will be using. I have nothing deployed, so we will use Terraform to deploy our application. So some files that we need here. I will start as usual with the variables. So we have some variable, the big IP, the username, the password, the policy name, so an LTM policy that will be applied to fast Terraform resources to manage the Canary testing. So the Canary testing will be based on HTTP header, and so the LTM policy will manage to send the requests that are using this specific header to the right pool. And partition that will be common by default, you will see for some element that we are creating. As usual, providers, so we need the version 1.16 as a minimum for the big IP provider to be sure that we are using the latest fast Terraform resources. And the resources, the variable, will be set up in the input auto tfvars file. So the IP, the username, the password, so the policy name that will be used, and the partition for some element that will be in common. I don't have any output here, so our main file. We start creating a WAF policy for the app 1. We are creating a second WAF policy for app 2. So it's not for app 2, it's for the second version of the app, because we are doing Canary testing. So we will send the traffic to maybe 2 different pools and specifying the WAF policy in it. Okay, so in this case we will use to the same pool, but we will use 2 different WAF policies. So that means that you can test a WAF policy sending some specific user and not all the users. So we are using a module that we have been creating and that is available in the repo. So we are specifying the policy name that will be created, that it will be in the partition common, the header and the value of the header that will be used to create the LTM policy rules, and the 2 WAF policy that will be used. And the latest element will be the fast HTTPS policy app. The name will be myapp7 in the scenario 7 tenant. We have a specific IP and port. We are using the default cert and key. We have a pool, SNAD pool, the LTM policy, so the one that we are creating just before, and the security logs. Okay, so let's start with the Terraform init -upgrade. Okay, all has been updated as needed. We do a Terraform plan. It's the beginning. So few information created. So it's a creation because there's no element already there. We are creating an HTTPS fast application with the different information we have set up here. You can see that the LTM policy name will be that one. So all the variables have been changed, and you see the definitive value of all the elements when you are doing the Terraform plan. You get the first WAF policy, the second WAF policy, and we get the LTM policy. Okay. Again, there is a lot of information here between the action and the condition that are available. You don't need to specify everything, and if you check on the module, you will get, you will see that we have set up just what we need. It's just that, but Terraform plan is showing you all what is possible. So let's do the Terraform apply. and see if we can see the configuration. So the two first elements to be created are the two WAF policies. And we need to wait a little bit for the AWAF policy to create it and that the database to be updated. So the WAF database to be updated. But it will be available shortly. So the first one it's created, and the second one will be done quickly. We have the LTM policy that has been created, and now it's the fast HTTPS. So let's go and check what have been done. So currently we have the two policy, V1 and V2, that have been created. And we have an LTM policy here. And on the LTM policy, you have the default that is using the ASM, so the AWAF policy, the V1. And for the early adopters, when you have specific information and the specific header, you are sent to the V2 WAF policy. Let's check if the virtual server have been created. So you have two different virtual servers that have been created, the redirect, that is by default when using the HTTPS fast template. And on the 443 port, we have some information that we have not set up and that are set up by default or created. And we have the TLS part. Most important, when we go to the policy, the security part, we don't have AWAF policy here. We can see the log profile that we have set up. So we need to go to the resources. We have a default pool, and it's the LTM policy that we have created that is selecting the policy depending if the HTTP header is available or present when the customer is sending the request. I hope you understand how powerful the new fast resources Terraform are, and that's it for today.